Hello everybody and welcome back to Mel's Divination. Today we're doing a Flip Thru Friday with Angels of Abundance Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue and Grant Virtue. That's coming up right after this. Hi and welcome everybody. So if you are familiar with my channel, we do Flip Thru Fridays every single Friday. This week we're going to do Angels of Abundance Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue, kind of sticking to a little bit of the Doreen Virtue theme that we've been doing lately. This is something that I like to do every Friday. I flip through Oracle decks or Lenormand decks or tarot decks, many of my big extensive collection, and share that with everybody. If you're interested in that, I highly suggest that you subscribe to my channel, like or comment down below. On Wednesdays, I also do Witchy Wednesday. So we do spiritual stuff, tarot, energy, anything witchcraft related, etc. So feel free to check that out as well. Today we're going to do Angels of Abundance, and we're going to get right into it. If you are not familiar with the way that I do Flip Thru Fridays, I start with the outside of the box, then I show the booklet, and I don't show the booklet very extensively, very long actually. I show the most of the booklet, and you can feel free to pause at places to read more. Without further ado, we're going to get right into it. So this is one of her very last angel decks that she did. It may actually be the very last one. I highly suggest you check out my Doreen Virtue videos that I've talked about, but these are out of print. She pulled everything off the shelves and out of production. This is a 44 card deck. The box itself is very glossy. As you can see my skylight reflecting in it. We have Angels of Abundance on the side. And then the back, I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see that better. Sorry about the glare. The original price was, it looks like $18.99, but no longer available. Okay, without further ado, we are going to jump right into this. I'm going to zoom out a tiny bit. Here we go. The inside of the box has an orange color to it. The deck and the booklet, the inside of the other inside of the box. Here's the booklet. I actually don't think I've really used the booklet. There's the back of the booklet. And we're going to get into that in 1 second. The deck itself is extremely glossy. Can you see the reflection? And this is probably her only deck that doesn't have the golded edges. It's not the same type of production as what she used to do. The quality, even of the cardstock, it's very thin and flimsy, and the cards stick together compared to her old decks, which were thicker and the cards didn't stick together even though they were glossy. All right, we're going to get into the Angels of Abundance booklet, and then we will move on. So the way that I do the booklet, I don't think I've even looked at this booklet. By the time I bought this deck, I wasn't using booklets anymore. It was printed in 2017. So I believe this is her last one. Table of contents. How to work with the booklet. How to work with the cards. You'll notice there's a different tone here. A lot of this is about God and God's angels. She talks much more about God in this deck than she did in any of her other decks. This was when she was going to church. She was starting to make that transition. So it's a little interesting to look at it. Feel free to pause and read this whole thing. I'm not going to read it to you. Dear God, thank you for lifting away anything from these cards that is not of divine love. Isn't that interesting? I do not believe that that's what her other decks were. I'll make sure. I'm doing another flip through of hers shortly, so I will make sure to show you what the quote is for clearing the cards. Dear God. Yeah. It's different. Standard 3-card spread, past, present, future. Meanings of the cards. And this is the first card. The card comes to you because the angels have heard your prayers. Let's see what else she talks about. It signals you may have harbored some worries, pessimism, abundance mindset. That's pretty much it. And then all of the cards. Well, it looks like for some of them, she does give a little bit of like a mantra of how to do things. Yep, employment changes, that's one. So it's a little different for each one, I guess, depending on the card. Help me, God. God is your source. Like I said, it's a lot more about God than it was. Let's flip to the back. Here we go. About the artists. And then there's a list of the artists and what they painted. I do like how she credits the artists, in case if there's anything that you specifically are looking for in each card. Perhaps you like one specific card and want to find that artist. About the authors. And then that's everything. Okay, we're gonna get right into this flip through. If you're not familiar with the way that I do this, I put on some background music and I flip through every card. Feel free to pause if there's more you'd like to look at. I think there's no glare. See, she talks about God, and there's a lot of extra, like, the angels look like they came from the Bible. They're sticking together, of course. You are a child of God. It's very different than her other decks. Okay, that was the extent of Doreen Virtue's Angels of Abundance. Now, I mentioned that this was the last deck, I believe, that she did, except for the Loving Words of Jesus. That was an oracle deck right before she fully converted in her religion. This deck, do I use it? Not very much. Have I used it? How often do I use it? I can use it. It depends on what the client is asking. But I will use this deck specifically if a client has a financial question or a work career question. And often it is actually pretty spot on, I have found, believe it or not. It's all about the intention that you're putting behind the question, is how it's always worked for me. But these decks can be, and I don't always read it word for word, I look at more the energy and the guide words, the title of the card, of what is coming through, what can give us some tips and tricks and hints. I do like some of the cards in here. There's some cards I'm not super thrilled with, but I love the concept of releasing poverty and getting rid of guilt and stepping away from fear. By doing all those things, it really does help the abundance in your life in all areas. So I do like that. I like some of the messages, but the fact that it's so God driven and so religiously driven, knowing like what happened with her and what she chose to do after this, it's a little frustrating for me. I hope that helps you guys. I will link whatever I can find on this deck down below for where you can purchase it. You can probably purchase it on Etsy or eBay and maybe used on Amazon. I'm not sure. Let me know what you think about this deck. Go back and check out my Doreen Virtue videos if you haven't seen them. And thanks for joining me. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye.